Hi YouTube, this is Darkonslaught and today is another installment of my Darkonslaught Retron reviews, and this time I'm going to be taking a look at the Class 2 Episode 3 Jedi Starfighter based on Anakin Skywalker's version of his Starfighter. Anyways, I know this set had a lot of flack when it was first released, and I guess I could kind of understand some of the issues that the set does contain, but I personally really like this vehicle, and the only thing I guess I can kind of have a little bit of nitpicking that other people have complained about, if I remember correctly, is that it doesn't have any landing gears, and that's a huge problem when it comes to a Starfighter. But it still works pretty well for what it does. I know some versions of Anakin Starfighter allowed you to remove the R2-D2 and attach it inside, but this feature doesn't have it, and I think it makes it a lot more accurately scaled because of that. It doesn't have a large bulky slot that makes the wings a lot more bulky than they need to be, and I just didn't really care for it. Another problem I have with this thing is that the stickers do not, for any reason, want to stay on. Since they're put in a very strange kind of unflat surface, it does have problems of actually keeping together due to the adhesive. Even since the day I put them on, it doesn't like to stay on very well. Even the one on R2-D2 likes to pop off quite a bit there. But anyways, the features itself on the Starfighter allows, once I showed earlier, R2-D2's head to rotate 360 to give the movement of his head turning when he's talking to Anakin Skywalker and activating, I guess, this whatever the Starfighter needs to do. It also has the starfoil pieces able to open, up, and go into flight mode. So that's really cool. Though it doesn't really like to stay on very well since these pieces are rather loose. Well, now I'm going to put these away. And underneath, there are two green missiles, which are plugged in on both sides. Basically, when you press these yellow buttons, the missiles will fire out. So here's a look at the green missile. So that's pretty much it for the features of the Starfighter alone. Since it doesn't have any landing gears and so on, you just kind of place it on a display and just like that, and it is a bit strange, but I think it works okay. It does feature an openable cockpit, which could be used to put in 3.75-inch figures, but for some reason this thing is having a little bit of a tough time opening for me today. There. Inside is a okay, decently designed cockpit. It's not the best, but it does its job. We're going to take this out to the side and take a look at my Vintage Collection Episode 3 Anakin Skywalker. And this is actually my original copy, which I got when it was out in stores. Here is the Revenge of the Sith card. It shows a picture of Anakin Skywalker as normal from Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. On the back it shows the original toy and the information about the Vintage Collection as normal. And various of the other figures, except this time they made it show several of the other Revenge of the Sith figures released, and for some reason a random Power of the Force figure, and I don't know why they showed that. But anyways, we'll take a look at the Anakin more closely. He does include a soft goods Jedi cloak, which can be removed, which we'll quickly remove to look at the articulation points a lot easier. And underneath is a really good likeness to the character. And I guess it does look pretty good. He does have waist articulation. Does have fully movement in his shoulders. He has ball jointed elbows. His hand isn't ball jointed or ball hinged, but it can swivel. This piece has kind of warped over the time since it has been in the Starfighter for a long time, but he does have full movement in the hips, and it can kind of move outward as well. Nothing restricting it, it's just really tight on mine. And inside it does have a soft goods skirt piece. It does have ball joints in the knees, and his feet are ball jointed as well. but they're rather tight, so there isn't a lot of movement you can get there. The other accessories the figure also included was obviously the unlit lightsaber, which plugs in really well there, and obviously his lit lightsaber, which can fit pretty decently on either arm, or other hand, should I say. Trying to get this in to his hand. For some reason, it's having a little bit of trouble plugging in today. There you go. Fits decently in this hand, but I think it's definitely made so that it fits in this hand much better. It's going to plug it in. There you go. So here he is with the lightsaber attached inside his hand. So that's really nice. This figure, which I'm just going to quickly put back on the Jedi cloak, sits really well inside the vehicle, and I never understood why people complained that he did not fit very well in there. Since personally, I think he fits really well in there. What you're going to do is kind of put him in his sitting stance, with the cloak over him. I like to close it off here so it allows it to sit in much easier. You kind of put him in like this, then eventually he does plug in really nicely. For some reason it's having a little problem here, so we're just going to play around with it. Until it's so much nicely there. So yeah, people say that he does have a pretty snug fit, but I think it works decently enough. And he can close with him inside, and I think that works pretty nicely. Sorry for the glare on the light there. And it works really nice for what it is. All the features remain present, and I think it's a really nice addition to any Star Wars fan's collection. And yeah, I'm not sure how much different it's going to be compared to the Revenge of the Sith one, which was initially released, or any other version of the vehicle, but for what it does, I think it's pretty decent, and the only major flaw that I see of it is the missing landing gear pieces. But overall, I still think this is a really nice Starfighter, especially if you have any version of the Revenge of the Sith Anakin. I'm not sure if every version can fit in this Starfighter, but the Vintage Collection one could definitely fit in there with no issue. So, I highly recommend this to any Star Wars fan, and hopefully maybe one day we'll see another version of the vehicle in better made, I guess, with the landing gears and so on. But anyways, please comment and subscribe, and check out Hero Talk on the Gideon blog as soon as they reopen up. Also, please check out my Twitter handle under Darkonslaught, and please check out the other channels down below, including the WW Podcast and the various other channels. But for now, I'll be seeing you on YouTube. Bye.